Welcome back to One Consciousness. It seems like ages since we put the last video out, and during that time we have been working so closely together, the horses and I and the rest of my animals. It's been a very, very intense time, and one of really taking note of every single thing that's happening at the moment. Everything is raising in its vibration, in its frequency. And it's been so important to take time out and reflect on all of this. So I hope the past few weeks have been good for you all. And I hope you're also able to be or have been out in nature and also working with your animals as well. As we've said before, if they want to work with you, it's not something you can force. They will make it very clear if they have information for you and want to share it with you. But it's also our responsibility as well to stay open to those messages. And if you feel that part of nature is calling you, or the animals are calling you and want to share information with you, you can pretty much guarantee at the moment that it's going to be really important to listen, and to listen at a level that maybe you've never listened in that deep way before to them. And the more you get used to this type of work and you journal and you work with crystals, if that's what your thing is, or you meditate, or you look deep into their eyes, they have that information for us now, which is so, so important to help us raise the vibration of the planet. We've just had Saturn move into Aries, and as many astrologers will say, that's not a good position for Saturn to be in, because Saturn wants to call the shots, and Aries is very much about the go-getting side and moving forwards. But I wonder if, and there's always another side and part way along the axis in astrology, and I wonder if actually, as Saturn is about divine timing, whether actually that is the big message coming through now. Saturn being in Aries, so many of the outer planets have changed signs or changing signs this year. This is a massive, massive time for us, and for all the reasons we've given in the past about the precessional cycle as well. This is a huge, huge time. So it's no surprise that actually what's going on the world stage is what's going on currently, and the chaos that's happening there. But the message that comes back from my animals all the time as they're guiding me and guiding us along the way through this massive birthing process is we are so, so close to that birth, which again is in divine timing. We cannot put a linear time to that. But they are walking alongside us, and they want us to really take note at a very deep level. Rise above a lot of what is happening in the 3D on Earth at the moment, all the chaos that's happening. Everything is happening for a reason, and there's much more to all the events than what they appear to be. And I always find it so interesting listening to other intuitives, listening to my animals, who has actually got the answers as to what's going on currently and able to join the dots together. And whilst it's important to join and connect those dots to get the information that perhaps you need for your path, I need for my path, or someone else might need for theirs, in a way, it also feels to me that it's important to join those dots, but to hold them lightly. Because at the moment things can change, extra information is coming in all the time from all our messengers. It's really important to be open to further information coming in and being able to quieten your nervous system, so not get pulled around and triggered by everything that's going on. And yes, easier said than done, but actually to try to remain above it in some ways. But above it, I mean out of those lower densities that are playing out currently, and find a way of stabilizing your own energy. Whatever that might be for you, whatever works best. But know that the animals and nature are here to guide us all the way through. And it's not humans who are in control of what's going on at the moment. I think that's actually very clear. It's not humans who are in charge of this whole process. It is nature that's in charge. That information about everything is coming through the one consciousness, which is the cosmos's way of delivering information. Maybe you want to see it as their form of the internet. I don't want to bring AI into this and equate that with it as well, but for some of you that might work. But it is a massive, massive time, and not to undervalue this in any way. I think most people now, whatever their beliefs are seeing that something not right with this world. Something just doesn't add up. Well, many things don't add up right now. But actually, when you tune into the big picture, which is what our animals and nature are guiding us to do, is to tune into what that big picture is. And it may just be the big picture for you at this moment, which is really, really important. Individually, even though we're all part of the one consciousness, our individual path and the really important part that we all play in this process is absolutely key. And there are so many ways that we can do that and work towards our part. But it is important to keep taking time out and evaluating and joining the dots, as I say, but holding it all as lightly as possible. One other thing I've noticed, actually, speaking to lots of people, as I do all around the world, at the moment, there are so many major synchronicities happening. When I'm talking about connecting the dots, those synchronicities that people are telling me about, where things are just coming out of the blue for them, or seemingly out of the blue, and they don't know how things are happening, and they're stepping back with what happened there? I didn't plan for this. And we're going to see more and more of those synchronicities coming in. And I wonder if it's just because we don't have that depth of the big picture right now, that things come across as synchronicities. But imagine the whole universe now with these electrifying flashes that are around us all, bringing in the light codes. They're also connecting up the dots for each of us on our paths. And yes, this is a really magical process that is taking place. Incredibly deep, and connecting us all up with that connection, that belonging that maybe none of us have had before to this extent. This connection in with the universe is something most of us aren't used to having. And for the reasons that I've put out in videos before now, which my animals have told me why that is, what was the reason for our disconnection from the universe in this massive way, that now getting rid of our conditioning, releasing everything, and immersing in this magic that is happening all around us all the time. It may not feel like it, but when you tune in, you will feel that magic happening and just see those connections taking place now in the universe. I am sure that they will be speeding up as over the last 18 months, I hear more and more people around the world telling me more and more about the synchronicities that are happening to them and people they know. And that is incredible in itself and gives me such hope that everyone is really connecting in now at a very, very deep level. So trust the process. I know that might be hard at times, but that message comes through from the universe all the time now about trusting the process. And particularly on those days when you don't trust it. Find a way, find a spiritual practice that works for you now that you can do daily. And going out into nature, being with the animals, just being with them in their energy, asking them if they've got anything they want to share with you today. These are all fantastic things to do and to open this up and open all our paths up together, because our paths all overlap and connect in together as well. So I want to just finish this message off today with a vision that came through earlier on in the week, actually. And I'm very aware as well that we've just had this new moon in Gemini, which is definitely talking about new beginnings. And it seems very potent as well, coming straight after Saturn moving in Aries, also signifying new beginnings, a new cycle going on now, taking place. Yes, it is a new cycle within many other cycles that are going on right now. And for all of you who know one of my horses, you'll know that she is very much all about the cycles, the circles, the spirals, everything that nature fundamentally stems from. It's all spiraling out to us now with all that information, all the encodings in it. And it is drawing us towards it and also coming through to us as it's upgrading our bodies, as it goes through and immerses itself in all of our cells. So this image that came forward, interestingly, my animals were standing right by my side, and we were walking up one of those steep steps that you see so many of them in the old towns in Europe, where you don't necessarily know what's at the top of these old steps, and they go on and seem to get steeper the higher up you get, which is obviously your body getting tired as well. Watch for all the messages in this metaphor of going up those steps, and they feel like they're getting steeper and steeper the further and further up you go. The houses often on either side that are always quite mysterious, and I'd love to go in and explore some of them and see what they look like on all these different levels going up these steep steps. So much character as you're going up there. But what actually came in front of me, which I don't normally get actually, but was this very angelic figure, but with a masculine face, which felt really unusual to me. And it was only after, when the whole vision had come through, that I felt about this masculine face, that Aries is also a very masculine sign. So it all feels very interconnected, not too surprisingly. But this angelic figure was drawing us all up these very steep steps. Couldn't see at all what was at the top of it, but we kept on going. My animals walking, all walking alongside each other up these steps, further and further up, Still no end in sight. And then finally, it just seemed like there was nothing at the top, an absolute void. And then we stepped into this amazing vista of mountains on one side, this very open-ended, I can't even think of how to describe it, very open-ended, euphoric place with mountains on one side, very lush greenery on very uneven ground in the middle, and maybe some hills and some mountains over to one side. And the greenery, that lush greenery, was joining up with the horizon. So it stretched ahead with no houses, no buildings, purely nature, but so lush, so welcoming, so high vibration. And it may help to actually go through your own visualization as well and see what messages that gives to you today. And it felt important to share that with you. Even though we've been doing a lot of work intensely together, there has been this draw to come back and share that with you today. Our animals and nature will never spoon feed us with the answers. Or my animals certainly don't. But what they do want us to do is to explore, to connect those dots, to get your own messages. Be in charge of your own mastery and how it's best to develop yourself. And that is so individual. And enjoy the process with it. Enjoy it all. Thank you for watching.